Errol Spence claps at the haters and even gets at Austin Trout over steroid accusations. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, and the Patreon family. We working. Head over to Patreon. I got some fun stuff coming. You guys should enjoy it. A lot of people have been enjoying the group sessions that I'm doing. So if you want to be part of that, the Eagles Army family, the extended Eagles Army family, join Patreon or the YouTube channel member. To join and become a YouTube channel member, link below. It says join. And let's get it. Errol Spence, he started responding to, I guess, allegations from people. I don't know what brought this up, but I seen it and I want to make a video about it. Errol Spence says, I can post a pic with my nipples looking the same when I was 15 years old and y'all still gonna say the same shit. There's a lot of haters and people that accuse Errol Spence of being on the gear, and they said the indication is his nipples. You know, oddly enough, they're saying is gyno, and you know, everybody's an armchair critic or whatever the situation. And Errol says I could post a picture with my nipples, pause, looking the same when I was 15 years old, and y'all still gonna say the same shit. And it's funny because that's not a tell. Listen, there's certain indications of people who are juicing. And listen, I was heavily into like reading on fitness and stuff like that. One of my favorite movies of all time is Arnold Schwarzenegger. What are you doing? Pumping iron, you know? So I was really into that world, read all about it. And, you know, it's fascinating. So I educated myself. And there are certain things that are indicative of being on something, but it's not a guarantee. Like, let's say, for example, people who are acne prone or who have back knee. That's one of the side effects that you can get from being on certain anabolic steroids, right? But there's also people in this world who have acne on their back unrelated to being on anything, you know? And it's funny that Errol said that about the nipples is because my older brother had that kind of like puffy nipples when we were growing up. And so I know he wasn't on steroids when we were kids. And that's the evidence that they're trying to use against Errol Spence. It's really weird that you have people who, without failing a drug test, they'll accuse him of being on something. And then some of those same people, you look at guys like Manny Pacquiao, who moved up from sperm weight all the way up, and they won't say anything crazy about that, even though Alex Ariza did a video. And I'm not saying Pacquiao, you know, we're making and drawing the comparison. Freddie Roach did an interview that sounded really weird, and he said Alex Ariza was putting some in the shakes and we couldn't tell what they were. They were mystery shakes, you know. But this is boxing fans. They'll say, oh, Charlos, they weren't in Texas when Vada tried to drug test him. Boom. And, you know, they want to be the judge, jury, and the executioner. They'll look at, oh, look at Errol Spence's nipples. Boom. But then they'll look at Tyson Fury's glove that looks crazy and dented in the second Wilder fight, and nobody's saying anything. So, you know, they'll look at Pacquiao go from sperm weight all the way up to stopping guys at 54, and there's no speculation, no nothing crazy. It's funny how this works. Errol Spence continues. He says, y'all have to let that go and come up with something else. And then Errol Spence, he says, Eddie Hearn and Kell Brook made me take Vada and USADA and nothing, ... nothing. Right? So he's saying, like, we did all the testing possible. And it's funny, like, even little stuff like that. The USA fighter went over to the UK, Sheffield, England, Kell Brook's backyard, and he had to take all this testing, like Vada and USADA, for the fight. But then another rematch room card, Eddie Hearn card. Dillian White fails a drug test against a non-UK guy, Oscar Rivas, and Oscar Rivas' team is never even notified of the failed drug test. But then when Ryan Blue Chip Martin fails a drug test in the World Boxing Super Series and gets beat, they suspend him for like multiple years. When Anthony Joshua knocked out Eric Molina, they said he tested positive for something. He said he had a doctor's note or whatever. They suspend him indefinitely or suspend him for like maxed out. You know, boxing is looking crazy with because it's not even. You know what I'm saying? It's not even. Dillian White, Tyson Fury, they've actually failed drug tests. You know? Crazy. Now, this was interesting. Errol Spence says, you cap too. And he tagged Austin Trout. He says, see, that's Austin Trout's page. He said, you cap too, Austin Trout. Put a name on it next time. I don't even know what that's about. So when I seen this, I'm assuming he believes Austin Trout like pointed the finger at him, or I don't know. I guess it was maybe something subliminal. If you guys have any details, I'm assuming there's some kind of interview or something with Austin Trout that would make Errol Spence respond to that. Austin Trout, last time I heard, he was moving back down to, or he's moving down to 147 to campaign. So I don't know if that he's trying to get a fight. I don't know what was said. See, look, someone else in the comments said, what happened between you and Trout? Austin Trout will get smoked. That's no doubt. Champ, go to sleep. Yeah, so I'm not sure what happened on that whole situation. But ironically enough, Errol Spence felt the need to respond to people looking at his nipples and people speculating that he's on something, you know, and that's just what it is. But the funny thing is, I was in Vegas several years ago. This is well before, this was after Chris Algieri, but before he became a champion. I don't remember what, it was actually for Edislandi Lada Vanes Matarosin Part 2. We were in Vegas, so maybe 2016, if memory serves correctly. We were all in Las Vegas. I talked to Errol Spence, and we were interviewing him in the hotel, or it was like the casino. And I asked him, because he had this. So keep in mind, you're gonna see it on the screen right now. Keep in mind, this was before he was even a champion, and Errol Spence was in shape, looking brolic, back ripped up, before he was a champion. So before the Kell Brook fight, and he had haters back then that were emerging to the point where, listen to the question that I asked, you'll hear my voice. It was me and Ellie, you know, and we were talking to Champ. Well, he wasn't a champ, like I said back then. But listen to listen to, it's ironic that he just put all these tweets, and listen to the question I asked. Let's go.
Club shit don't fucking add up. I'm Jury, I respect him a lot. Club shit don't fucking add up. It's a very talented fighter. You can tell me the many what does that say?
It says a lot. It's like a punch, it's like a fight. Chris Algieri, he's a tough fighter. I got him up out here.
No, I saw online you have some haters. Why would anyone hate on you ever?
I don't know. I don't
Where
say.
did that come from?
I mean, I guess, man, I'm doing something right. I guess I keep winning. I keep moving up the ladder. You know, haters come out of nowhere. Cause I don't say too much. I don't do too much, so I don't know why would they be hating.
Out of nowhere, they were accusing you of being on steroids and all types of stuff before you even fought Algieri. So is it just something that comes with the territory as you grow in stardom?
It just something comes with the territory. I mean, they see me knocking people out. Now I'm doing steroids. So, I mean, it is what it is, man.
Wow, and that's an OG throwback. That's an OG throwback. So I asked him about it to his face way back then. Like, hey, what is it? It just comes with the territory, because this is what the haters is saying. You know what I'm saying? And now he's having to explain several years later the same shit. Ain't failed no drug test. The only thing he did in recent memory, you know, that you could say shame on him, was the car accident. And that was more so his personal life as opposed to doing something faulty in boxing. So it's just crazy that Errol Spence, you know, there's people who are actually failing drug tests, like Alexander Povetkin, and old media don't got no words for him. But then when it comes to African-American fighters predominantly, there's a lot of speculation. Who's doing what? And this is without actually having failed anything, you know? And real, if we're really being truthful, Canelo Alvarez failed a drug test. That's not my personal opinion. You see, this is what boxing got to understand. That's not a personal attack at Canelo. That's not my personal feelings. That's not how I feel. That's not me spreading fake news. We could pull this up. Canelo Alvarez failed a drug test. Like, bro, failed drug test. Boom. Boom. ESPN. That'll work. ESPN, that'll work. ESPN 2018. Canelo Alvarez to serve 6-month suspension for failed drug tests. So he failed 2, February 17th and February 20th of that year, 2018. You know, so it's a shame that fighters like Errol Spence, unified champion, he's in the WBC, like he's in with the WBC, has the WBC belt after beating Sean Porter. He has to explain himself. You know, listen, I'm not naive. I know people in this beautiful sport of boxing are gaming. If you got a cyclist like Lance Armstrong, who's, you know, pedaling a bike and looking for an edge, then you know in a brutal combat sport like UFC or boxing that people will be jockeying for position. But you can't just go around pointing the finger at various people, you know, with no type of, like, nothing that even looks weird, you know, nothing that even people talking about Errol's nipples, like, really? And then there's people who actually failed a drug test, and Canelo just says, I ate the meat. So he literally failed a drug test, not one, but on 2 separate dates. And same thing with other people, like especially with the clenbuterol, Eric Morales, Francisco Vargas. There's different people, you know. But then Gerald Miller, they say throw the book at him, you know. But they don't say that to everybody. They don't say throw the book. They say Big Baby Miller failed, you a F up, throw the book at him. You know, there's a lot of speculation. They'll speculate that this guy's on. You know, you can't just go around doing that. So what's done in the dark comes to light. That's Errol Spence. If you know what's going on with him and Austin Trout, I'm not familiar. I'm not really versed on whatever was said. But if you guys are up on the loop, I know a lot of Eagles Army, they stay tapped in and they know what's going on. Let me know what's going on. He said, say a name next time. So I guess Errol believes there was something subliminal said about him. I didn't get around to hearing it. So let me know if you know what he's talking about. Sign up for ESPN Plus. Link is in the description. It does help the channel when you guys click on that link. ESPN Plus, home of a lot of original content. They got archive boxing, archive UFC fights, a bunch of documentaries and docuseries. You can get ESPN Plus as a standalone app or bundle it, ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus. All 3 apps, one price, $12.99 a month. Let me know what you guys think of Errol Spence. He's looking in tremendous shape, and it's all eyes on Errol. When he comes back, strap season, man down, we're going to see where he's at. He's looking like he's in crazy shape and, you know, addressing the haters too. So Errol looks refocused in his life and his career. So we'll see what's next. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.